to give the activity report. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Thank you, Democracy, thank you. Democracy, Allah Baraka. Thank you, Democracy, thank you. Allah Baraka Baka Democracy. I think Casamas was very electrifying. Took us, all of us, from the deep slumber we might have been. So, thank you. Democracy, Altanyin Nola de Casamas Boyo Benke. I'll talk here another day. Okay? Anyway, Madam Moderator, I am tasked to present the activity report of the party from our last Congress to the date of convening of this current Congress. The activities undertaken by the United Democratic Party since December 2018 are many, and therefore it is not possible to catalog all the events constituting the activities. We'll just have to be selective in our presentation, because an activity undertaken by the party in Khartoum should also be reported on, but we cannot do that. So I'm being selective to highlight the key events that took place since December 2018. I must say that in 2019, there were a series of activities. There was the Women's Wing National Congress, which was followed by a rally at the SSP. And this rally was attended by all members of the executive. It was also part of the activities of the party to be hosted by the people of Gunjur for the National Youth Congress, which was held in March 2019. And in March 2019, when, precisely on the 15th of May 2019, when Honorable Amadou Sane, the late Lamin Dambundeba and myself were relieved of our cabinet positions, that provided us a unique opportunity, an opportunity that we had always looked for, to concentrate on the party. As they believe the Wolof would say, Pichabure Chachi Kejam, the find now them Funeka Lukoner. So, in March, I was invited by the UDP Seattle chapter for a fundraiser. It was the best, it was the first and probably the best engagement, because it set up the standard for other parties. As I was holding meetings with people in Seattle, the UDP was busy in Tujerel with the Yellow Sisters. As I was holding meetings with people in the United States, the UDP was busy with people in Bunuakunda, in Brufut, and in Basse, and Soma. Result of my visit to the United States really led to the galvanization of our party support. It led to the re-engineering of our party's efforts to assert itself as the dominant party. But when I arrived at Banjul International Airport on my return from the United States, the event was one of its kind. It had never had happened in this country. Since then, the party has been holding rallies. We held the mega rally at Nyani Jarume Koto. We thought that the rally in Soma, we thought that the rally in Bundu and Brufut were rallies that could never be surpassed. But what took place in Nyani made us and everyone of Nyani extraction to be very, very proud. It was a rally of its kind. And the OYC, All Yundum constituency, also organized a rally in July of 2019. Bakau also did, and their rallies are always preceded by the Barawulo march from Kajikale to Kajikalo to Mamakoto and round to the beach. In 2020, November to be precise, the 3rd November, we left for Balibusal, Kenya, to hold a rally on the 1st of December. Again, that rally raised the bar from Jarume to a higher height. And it was a rally that was accompanied by the laying of the foundation stone for the UDP bureau in Jabakunda. On 22nd February, the Lord Mayor of Banjul hosted us, or hosted her party in Banjul. And that rally was one of its kind. UDP had held rallies several occasions in Banjul, but the arrangements, the turnout on that occasion was one that we had never witnessed in the past, except the rally that we held at Vizaral Street in 1996. Launching the party. That was the only rally that is comparable to the Lord Mayor's rally. So we applaud the people of Banjul, as the Amseta, as Skainaka, and your people for really hosting us well. The Brikama Market Cambian Kafo, in collaboration with Ibrahim Adiba, also organized a rally in honor of UDP in Brikama. And since then, the UDP was gearing up to the All Badibu rally, which was supposed to have been held at the end of March. But unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic came on us, and as a result, we had to defer all political activities. And we continued postponing all political activities, even though some other people were busy on the political terrain, crisscrossing and positioning themselves. But we were true to ourselves and to our country, and we decided that we will lay off all activities. And prior to that, let me say, I'm proud to announce that our party embarked on some humanitarian visits when there was flooding, massive flooding in Basse and in CRR. Our party went to Basse and made a donation of $300,000 to the Basse community through the area council and the disaster management committee. We made similar donations of $300,000 to the Janjambure area council in order for that council to help assuage the negative impacts of the flooding. We crossed over to Kuntauru and donated $300,000 to the Kuntauru Area Council in order to help the disaster victims in the Central River Region North. And on this occasion, I was accompanied by the Deputy Party Leader and the President of the Women's Wing. When there was disaster in Basse, and fire broke out in Basse, again, the party, forgetting or putting aside politics, we decided to visit the area council chairman and the governor, as well as the disaster management committee, and we made a donation of $400,000 to the Basse Area Council to supplement their efforts in rebuilding the Basse market. I'm happy to say that our contributions may not have been in millions, but what we contributed is doing well to bring up the market to its standard. I claim that my party has contributed towards the building or rebuilding of that market, and no individual can claim that it is only their efforts. We did it when really the people needed it. And we did it while we were in opposition. Probably we would have done it much earlier and better if we were in government. When there was disaster at Brikama, my party also did not lag behind. When Brikama, West Coast, Brikama in particular, I wouldn't say it's my backyard, but that is where the father of the party, Tanekunda, that's where they are. And we could not be left behind, so we also went to Brikama and made a cash donation of $400,000, which we handed to the market committee. Has some devastating effect on the Gambian population. I established, but the bulk of the contribution came from members of the UDP, and I'm very thankful to them for their contribution. And this we did distribute the foundation laying of our bureaus. Quinala, and this was followed by the one in Quinala to respond to the call of their comrades. Bureau, I know as a fact that they embarked on fundraising. All the event was even though, and that's the contrast. It is we who fund our activities, not get governments to fund our activities. The other grand ceremony that took place was in Sanyang on the 30th of October, 2020. Then that was to lay the foundation stone for our Sanyang Bureau. That event, people were debating among themselves whether all these attendees are human beings. That was what people were saying. That shows that the UDP, when they are prepared to organize any event, they do it with perfection. They do it also with determination, with commitment, with sincerity, with honesty. They are not there. None of the people who attended that occasion were looking for a position for their brothers or trying to safeguard the positions of their sisters or wanting to be a safer in Combo South. None of them. There's people who are just there, ordinary Gambians, for the sake of Gambia. A very important and unforgettable activity of the party was the welcome organized for me and Mr. Diba and J. Paul when we returned from Europe. You are people who have witnessed it, and I need not give you any details of that. In fact, attempting to give any details of it would really be doing injustice, because maybe I just saw a minute aspect of that welcome. Others also saw minute aspects of it. Maybe we have to put all those together so that we can get the whole. But again, that was an event that I don't believe any party in this country can stage. And kudos to you, UDP, the organizing committee that really arranged this welcome, when thousands and thousands of people gathered at the Banjul International Airport to welcome us. It is apposite to mention that in April 2020, or before March 2020, but in 2019, the UDP took a decision that I don't think any party in this country had in the past taken. It was a decision to expel delinquent members of the party, National Assembly members who have turned disloyal to the UDP and been engaged in delinquent and anti-UDP activities. As a party, that was unacceptable. As a party, we cannot condone that. We have to, party decided that we have to operate the party on the footings of discipline. No person who is in discipline, no person who wants to conform to the rules, no person who wants to be guided by the principle of the party can be retained in the party for the simple reason that such a person holds an elective office or whatever. We rather do away with delinquent members of our party rather than retain them and they becoming cancerous and increasingly becoming cancerous, so that by the time we are prepared to deal with them, they would have caused serious damage to our body. We cannot allow that. So we expelled those 8 members. And in like vein, we expelled the delinquent local government authority members, 2 councillors from West Coast and the chairman of the Brikama Area Council. We had expected that elections would have been held by now. What our surprise and disappointment. Simple English, the IEC chairman and his advisors are unable to comprehend. When the language is quite clear, that when a person ceases to be a member of the party on whose platform he contested election, he will cease to be a member of the council. There is nothing as clear as that. There is nothing as simple as that. Not even a grade 12, even a grade 6 student would understand that language. But the IEC has chosen, to our disappointment, to engage in foot dragging and forcing us to go to court. It's a great disappointment. And if people have to continue to have confidence in the IEC must behave in ways and manners that will make people have confidence in them. This shakes our confidence in IEC. Simple language. They could not understand. It was a ploy why they were dragging their feet to seek an amendment to the Local Government Act. But they thought that such an amendment would have saved the person whom they wanted to have retained in office. But the amendment could not save him. But the unfortunate thing is that we have to go to court, and that, I believe, is not doing well for the credibility of the IEC. There were various regional activities done, regional tours by the National Organizing Committee as well as the National Campaign Committee. The party participated in the by-elections in Kerjarga ward, and we lost the elections. But the good thing about it is that we now know what to do in that constituency. We now know how to go about increasing our fortunes in that constituency. We wouldn't have known what our situation was there if we did not contest the elections, that would by elections. So we are happy that we contested the by-elections. The youth wing, National Youth Wing, also undertook various activities. There was a youth congress on Saturday, 2nd March 2019, held at Gunjur, and as I already stated, that congress was followed by a youth rally. In March of 2020, the members of the youth wing, namely the Secretary General, Kemo Boja, and female regional leader from the North Bank region, Michelle Mendy, left the Gambia for China to attend the China Political University and participated in the Africa-China Youth Political Party program. This afforded them some fruitful experiences, and since their return, Kemo Bojang has been trying to put into use some of the things he learned there. This was in March 2019. And in April 2019, the Youth Wing organized the Victims March Past and also the Solo Sunday Memorial Lecture, which was held at the Mercy Hotel in Kololi in collaboration with the Halal Group and the Solo Sunday Foundation. This day is celebrated annually on the 14th of April to commemorate the lives and sacrifices of members of the party and their contribution in the democratization process. Unfortunately, this year, because of the COVID-19, we could not hold the memorial lecture, and we could not hold any activity to honor Solo Sunday. In the month of Ramadan, the Youth Wing, in collaboration with some of the constituencies, organized a daily iftar, and also food items were distributed within the constituency to support the needy families. In July of this year, the Secretary General of Youth Wing, Kemo Bojang, was selected for the prestigious Mandela Washington Fellowship, where he spent 3 months in the United States and built working relationship with the youth wings of the SWAPO Party in Namibia, APC in Nigeria, First Step of Senegal, ANC of South Africa, and many others. In November, the youth wing participated in the draft constitution consultation organized by the Westminster Foundation, where the youth wing submitted recommendations and positions on the draft constitution. In March, on account of the activities, the youth wing was able to influence 60 youths from the NPP to defect to the UDP in the North Bank. The youth wing was the first to roll out COVID response by supplying hand washing points around the country. The youth wing also shot videos and hired a sign language interpreter to help in sending a more inclusive message to all sections of society. The youth wing and its members and members of the student union wing also took part in sensitization programs within KMC and West Coast region. This sensitization campaign was carried out to enlighten residents and non-residents on the dangers of coronavirus, its modes of transmission and prevention. As the overall food supply chain in the country, the students' wing of the youth wing deemed it fit also to chip in and contribute its quota into the food bank initiative that I had established. In October, the youth wing, in collaboration with the campaign and organizing committee, held a 3-day nationwide tour across the regional bureaus and also visiting of the youth farms across the country. In the North Bank, the youth coordinator and its youth cultivated the Findi farm in Badibu Gunjur and beans in Jabakunda, in which harvesting was successful. In Central River region, the youth of Upper Fuladu West also cultivated rice field in the Bankunda, and they had very good harvest. They brought home 11 bags. And similar farming was done in Nyamina Jare and Wuli in Upper River region. The women wing, I had mentioned earlier, held their congresses in February 2019, and this was followed. Under the leadership of Ajasukaina Kar, the women of Kansala were honored to have been graced and celebrated by the party. They expressed their support to the party and promised to do their part in the promotion of the party towards national development. This occasion was graced by senior members of the party, including myself, who had showed heartfelt gratitude to the visitors. Due to the COVID pandemic, the second leg of the tour intended by the women's wing has to be postponed. And we hope very soon that this tour that the women's wing will embark on this tour. As I stated earlier, there have been various activities, but then these are the key events that we should bring it to the attention of the Congress, and hopefully what has been done in 2018 to 2020 will certainly be doubled in 2020-2022 tenure of the new executive. I thank you all for your attention.
Another huge round of applause for His Excellency.
run on the topic and give that has
Thank you very, very much for highlighting the key activities. As you mentioned, party leader, you wouldn't have been able to do justice with all the activities that were done between 2018 to date. But you highlighted areas that included sensitization rallies, laying of foundations, humanitarian support work, international visits, particularly to our diaspora families, human resources and administrative work, the by-elections that were held, the activities of the youth wing, particularly the Solosandeng Memorial Commemoration, as well as the youth's activities in response to COVID-19. I want to take the opportunity now to invite the National Treasurer, Honorable Amadou Sane, to give the financial report of the United Democratic Party.
Akamin banke jannu wolem nyinti ko party leader kabira nata jang ala banke kono ay nyi itandi ko ku jamale keta bari mbe tembo min ton ni koy be o be satala jang me mela janne bari mobe alon ne ko UDP ala activity nyi sangtambilalu yeminke nin ko mba fola jang te bola jambi bari wol kono ku mayari ngolu minu mayata je ay wala banke teng mimbe dendi UDP la lo kangola tumo minna ye makoyro di ye de marol di dulalla din kiralla mi ya lonko abe nyato tale away nyato tale sammanan ye bankero fana di mimbe den dim fondin kel la tana ni na nyala patio kono ye do ko min ke nyin santambila kabiru o bota je non anata kumandiro ke min keta UDP la kodo ma min ka kodo mutaka nafulo mara wala nyinti honorable Amadou Sane wala kumandi pour fana wayna bankero di
the party leader and secretary general, deputy party leader and secretary general, acting president, president of the female wing, youth wing, all executives, imams, delegates, distinguished invited guests, I want to say Assalamu alaikum.
And the saffron, the food, just enough people to slide by and continue to come around. They have been skipped off and wasted by an uncaring administration. They take our limited resources to live large and feed the people and the government. This is the final contrast to the UDP.
Thank you. Appreciate the figures more. The Gambia we know today emerged from a very difficult economic situation. A political crisis created by a dictator who refused to leave the country's governance. The economy was stalled with no program with the IMF. There was a failed rainy season and a completely flopped tourist season. So over the period 2017 to 2019, when UDP was part of the coalition government, your UDP party representatives served in various positions in this government, from Minister of Foreign Affairs, Lands and Regional Integration, Finance and Economic Affairs, the Vice Presidency, Agriculture, trade, industry, employment, and regional integration. I think Gambians in general, not only UDP, will look back and have no regret in having UDP in government affairs, seeing the track record that they have displayed whilst in government. So just to remind you a few of the achievements of your UDP representatives in government for the Gambia, that is our own homeland, let me list a few impactful developmental and transformative efforts whilst we served in the government. And I'm not a good musician like Kasama Sinko, but I would want you to join me in this. Who brought back Gambia from isolation into the community of nations, rejoining the Commonwealth, the ICC, and bringing back the IMF program after years of disengagement? Who did this? The UDP representatives in government. So I want you to sing, it's the UDP. I'm not Kasamasko, but I want you to sing UDP in this. Then, who brought in the threshold program from the United States with their Millennium Challenge Corporation to provide Gambia with over $30 million in their threshold program? Who did this? UDP representatives. Aha. Now your voices are coming up. And then, who led the Gambia to prepare the National Development Plan that this coalition government has been singing everywhere, and this current president is singing everywhere he goes in his campaign? Who led the preparation of this National Development Plan? The UDP. Then, who planned and assisted and took your president to Brussels to secure $1.7 billion for the Gambia? Who did that for you? I think some were saying even the mice will have their share, the rats will also have their share, but we have not seen it. I have not got my share yet. I don't know whether you have got your share. Now, when we started, the electricity was really serious, a serious problem, serious blackouts. Who laid the roadmap for the electricity modernization project? We secured funding for 50 megawatts of electricity, with IDB promising to do 50% of that, and Badia and the Kuwaiti Fund were being negotiated, and they were willing to provide the balance. If you had 50 megawatts of generation, new generation power, would you be in blackness? Who stole the program? We did the program, but who destroyed the program? Now, we negotiated that every school would have a solar power. Every clinic, health facility will also have solar power. This was part of our national development plan. Who negotiated for the Gambia for these things to come? We also helped in bringing power from Senegal to supply us some of their excess power. We purchased that, of course. And who also led the way for bringing a hydropower from the Kaleta Dam in Guinea to improve the supply and the amount of power that we have to distribute to the population. Who did this? So I can go on and on and on. But the question I want to put at this stage is, if your representatives in a coalition government can move this country in such a short period that they have served, when you have a UDP government, what do you expect? A UDP government will take up all the developmental challenges that this country is facing. And it's only the UDP that has the capacity to transform this country from the bottom that we are in today to a higher height where you will all enjoy prosperity, and not just for a few who are just self-aggrandizement, who are just feeling themselves. Some, they have big stomachs, some have big cars, and so on. We are not that type. UDP is for the Gambia. I want you to repeat that. UDP for the Gambia. UDP for the Gambia. So, we and all Gambians are grateful for every butut from the launching of the party to this day, and we look forward to the continued support to the party to sustain the party's goal of deepening and maintaining democracy, human rights, the rule of law in this country, and to usher in a transformative economic development program, giving rise to prosperity for all the citizens. So, fellow members of the UDP, well-wishers, and all Gambians, you'll see that every single dollar given to the party means you are building the future for your country, the future of your children, and the prosperity that you deserve. And it's only the UDP in this country that can help you get that. So your money is well spent, and the party, I'm proud to say, 2019, we have produced our accounts and it has been audited. So I hope other parties will emulate UDP. So we are taking the lead in this. In here, may I acknowledge the invaluable support and financial contribution of the diaspora to the UDP from inception to date. I personally can attest to this, having directly received funds from the diaspora for financing various party activities. As National Treasurer, and on behalf of our UDP party leader, Secretary General, and Secretary General, the National Executive, and all members of the party, I want to thank the diaspora and pray that we continue to work together for the interests of our country and not for individual interests. I also want to acknowledge here every individual's contribution in cash or kind to the party, whether 1 butut or 1 million Your one Butut contribution is worth more than $1 billion of value today, having contributed to the freedom and the establishment of democracy in the Gambia. So I think I can go now to figures. You know where the dialysis and Bututs are going. You know, when you send it to your party, you buy your membership cards, you give your donations or contributions or hire a vehicle. So the party is making sure that you get the best value for your Butut and dialysis. For the period 1st January 2019 to 31st December 2019, the party raised a total of $5,202,624. This comprises of contributions of $3,939,382, fundraising programs which raised $563,736, and donations received of $698,506. Now the contribution figure of $3.9 million comprises of contributions of National Assembly members amounting to $668,000. So clap for your National Assembly members. And then the diaspora, we received $3,266,882 as contribution. I think you need a bigger clap than that. The executive, well, I think the figure is so small, but they contribute too much. So far, we raised $4,500, but you can see that there are contributions in kind, in effort, in energy, and time, which will amount to billions of dollars if you value it. But you can see that a lot of our executive also are unemployed. They are not earning salary. So I think you should still give them a round of applause. Now, despite some people saying that they sponsored the 2016 presidential election and the diaspora did not contribute anything to it, as a witness working in the UDP National Treasury since 1996 to date, and I am sure all those who worked with the Treasury or the executive know the tremendous contribution in campaign materials and in funds for the UDP to establish democracy, peace, progress, and justice in the Gambia that we can all smile at, and we acknowledge the diaspora's contribution in this. And these efforts will not only lead to, as we say, a smiling coast, but I think all Gambians will smile, even those in the agricultural fields around the country, in Banjul, KMC, Kombos, Fonyes, Badebus, Kiangs, Jaras, Salums, Nyaminas, Puladus, Jimaras, Tumanas, and Woolies will all smile for the Gambia. However, significantly absent from these income figures are the huge and invaluable support to the party in the hiring of vehicles, funding regional, constituency, and ward programs. And these activities, if quantified, will amount to millions of dollars, which is an indication of the love of Gambians for their country and the ongoing task for democracy, rule of law, end to corruption, lack of transparency in public procurement of large government projects, abuse of office, discrimination in the civil service, and state-owned enterprises, use of taxpayers' funds to finance unproven and, which I think, unfit personal political campaign officials in the false pretense that they are advisors to the Gambian presidency. For sectors, they have scarcely any semblance of knowledge to move this country forward. I think you are all witnesses to advisors dancing in political campaigns and so on, which really is an abuse of the civil service code, it's an abuse of the funds of this country. Why are we using taxpayers' funds to pay for advisors? UDP party members, well-wishers, and all fellow Gambians, let's support the party for the Gambians, and that is the UDP. Every butut contributed to the party, every party membership card purchased, you should be rest assured that it is for the interest of the Gambia. And the UDP is the party for the development of the Gambia. And the UDP is the party for the establishment of true democracy, human rights, and rule of law for the Gambia. I think the UDP will also ensure that the new revised constitution that reflects these values is passed through the National Assembly, and Gambians will have the opportunity to vote on it, as it is the charter that will govern their country. Now, the other question I want to put is, who voted for the revised constitution in the National Assembly? I didn't hear that. UDP, who sabotaged and aborted the efforts to give Gambians a better constitution that will provide the rights of all citizens, get rid of the Public Order Act, give the rights of minorities, women, children, and youth. Who sabotaged that project? I think you should all know clearly that UTP is the party for the Gambia. It's the party for the progress of the Gambia. And then the UDP is the party for the effective and dedicated transformation of the socio-economic tragedies of the last regime and now continuing in the later part of this current Barrow regime since the arrival of a national, and is the NPP, I don't know even what that represents. But what I will say it represents is the National Poverty Program for the Gambia. And I will just briefly say why I say National Poverty Program. We all know that the donors have provided billions of dollars in COVID relief, in budget support and funds. But where are these funds? Have you seen any impactful development? Have you seen any progress or transformation in your hospitals? And somebody was telling me that Serakunda Hospital lacks, is it a scanner? With billions of dollars, should you lack a scanner in the hospital? With billions of dollars, should you lack an ICU at the referral hospitals in Bansang, Farafenye, or Buyam? I think, fellow members, there has been a lot of talk, but the reality is clear, even if you refuse to accept it, that the UDP is the best option that Gambians have to move this country forward. Now, the UDP Your contributions will ensure, the UDP will ensure that we have a beneficial civil service sector reform that will manage and execute with effectiveness and efficiency the government's development agenda and not individual personal self-aggrandizement agendas. The UDP will also ensure that the security sector reforms are carried out in the interest of the Gambia as a nation that will enable us to meet the security requirements of the country and ensure the total respect for the rule of law and the unshakable observance of the human rights of all citizens. Fellow delegates, let me go back to the figure. The party spent $4,511,634 in operations and programs during the year 2019. The party's administrative costs for the year amounted to $1,687,163. This includes the allowances given to bureau members, administrative overheads, and rentals that we're paying, amongst other expenses. The campaign and organizing costs also amounted to $1,659,971. And political rallies amounted to $1,164,500. Now, the campaign and organizing costs includes regional tours of $381,000, campaign materials of $68,000, victim support of $133,000, and also a support to student wings of $40,000, and welcoming expenditure for the party leader from the diaspora, about $642,000. The party also accumulated assets worth over $7 million, of which motor vehicles and motorcycles amount to $5,467,000. The party's furniture and equipment at the head office and the bureaus amounts to $1,584,000. And we acknowledge the invaluable assistance of all well-wishers in sponsoring the party to achieve its goals for the Gambia. These party activities create awareness on the party's programs, our development agenda for the Gambia, and not for party members or development agenda for our party leader only, Ousainou Darboe. No, we are not like others. We want our agenda for the Gambia, just like we developed the National Development Plan for the Gambia, and not for individuals. So these activities also dispel important issues, some of which are false promises, misleading information, which are all aimed at political self-aggrandizement, which they disseminate to our beloved citizens. Fellow members, I would like to thank you all and assure you that the UDP stands for the Gambia, and together we'll march forward to victory in 2021 presidential elections. And thank you all. I just want to take this opportunity To translate just summary, in summary, some of these issues in Fula. I know we have people from Fuladu, and unfortunately some are saying they couldn't hear last speakers in English and Manding, so I beg to just give a brief summary, because the UDP belongs to all, and I'll also take this opportunity to say all those who point their fingers and accuse of tribalism are just people dispelling false rumors and allegations. And if today a government minister can stand and say only one tribe is being targeted in the immigration, that is the Fullers, I want to ask you, what is that person's tribe? Isn't he a Fuller? Don't we have a Fuller as Attorney General? Don't we have a Fuller as Chief Justice? Don't we have a Fuller before as our Vice President in this country? So who is discriminating against the Fulani? Not UDP. And for all ECOWAS citizens, the UDP will work within the ECOWAS framework to bring unity to the sub-region, so that all this concept of alliance cards and so on, that is so much of trouble for people all over the country from the sub-region, will be a thing of the past. So please rest be assured, we are a party for all tribes, all people, and we are for the Gambia, not for any individual tribe. So let me summarize. Badiraɓe fulɓe, mi haalay seeɗa wonno mi yejjiti goddim kono mi haalay seeɗa e pullo. Gambia men iwi e waktu mo andi o mettuno économie on yanuno taw men heɓuno kadi dictateur Yaya Jammeh o salno yaade, taw Gambia ɓe wonɓe ka leydi comme IMF, World Bank, ɓe nangi juude maɓɓe, ɓe wallatano Gambia. Kono gila o change heɓi, UDP heɓi himɓe tati ka gouvernement coalition o, ɓe heɓi place ji iwiɗo foreign affairs, finance, lands and regional integration, where he have vice presidency, heavy trade kadi, agriculture. Kono gila be UDP naɓe woni minister, ɓe liggi e leydi on. Ko leydi on ɓe yi, min addi Gambia ka aduna on himɓe ɓen fof welti. IMF rutti, Gambia naati kadi Commonwealth, ɓe naati ICC, IMF programme maɓɓe kadi arti ka Gambia, e min heɓi ballal kadi iwdo America e Millennium Challenge Corporation. Menen kadi waɗi programme development strategy a plan, National Development Plan 2018-2021 ko UDP waɗi ɗum fo. Ɓe yahi kadi Brussels e président on e ministre ji ɗin ɓen heɓi laahidi mballal ko yahi ha billion goto e million ji temedde jeeɗiɗi ɗum fof ko enen liggi ɗum sa yi hande oɗo himo yiilo e leydi ɗin himo haala national development programme ko menen fewni ɗum e UDP fewni ɗum programme electricity kadi men fewni plan andino men wawayno heɓude 50 megawatts generation plant taw ɗum ittayno nibbude fof ka leydi on ka plan on kadi école ji ɗin fof heɓay solar power ka plan on lopitaniji ɗin fof heɓay solar power so ɗum fof e ligge UDP so ɗum haalni ɗum pour on andude pati on ko pati mon pati on ko pati Gambia wona pati neɗɗo goto e joni min wawi haalde kadi contribution ji ɗin diaspora on no walli e mbuy mi yettiɓe e mballal mabɓe ɓe mballi hoore mabɓe ɓe halli e baadirawo mabɓe ɓe mballi leydi mabɓe so diaspora on jarama on jarama on jarama yo pati on hitande 2019 ɓen heɓi e kalis yaaɗo ha million ji 5 guluje temedde ɗiɗi e ɗum kalis e contributions ko ɗum woni himɓe ɓen okata on yahi ha million ji 3 temedde 9 capanɗe 3 e 9 fundraising programme ɗum woni programme ji ɗin pour dabbugol kalis kamɓe ɓe nattini e temedde 5 e guluje temedde 5 capanɗe 6 so e contribution noon kadi e National Assembly members ɓe waɗi contribute guluje temedde 6 capanɗe 6 diaspora on kamɓe nattini million ji 3 temedde 2 capanɗe 6 diaspora contribution ɗum waɗi 62.8% e party funds on so mi waɗa haalanayɓe on jarama boyi yimɓe ɓe woni diaspora ko leydi mabɓe ɓe wallata ona UDP ko parti non ko UDP ko parti leydi on administrative cost ko ɗum woni dogingol office on yoɓugol e liggoɓe ton e luwasiji ɗin e goɗɗin du yahi ha e million goto temedde 6 capanɗe 6 campaign programme ji ɗin ɗum dépense o yahi million goto guluje temedde 6 capanɗe 5 e 9 campaign and organizing cost regional tours o yahi temedde guluje temedde 3 capanɗe 6 victim support woni e himɓe ɓe me walli ɓeɗo heɓɗo mettude ka laamugol Yaya Jammeh e goɗɗe ɗum min dépense ton nguluuje temedde e capanɗe tati e tati so ɗum woni dépense pati on min fewni compte e auditors ɓe waɗi audit kono hande audit on arani kono mi halna e programme coordinators ni wonno janngo min adda e audit o waɗa read audit report makko ha mi waɗa adopt par ce que ko congress on watta adopt audit report on so deputy an o jonna e region fof e chairman on copy report on executive and names on ɓe fof ɓe heeɓi joni so on daray ɗum si min ari janngo si Allah jaɓi e waɗay ɗum consider audit on kadi o waɗay report makko so on jarama moƴƴo yo Allah wallu e gayna e o congress e jaam.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Amadou Sane, for that succinct report on the overview, on the highlight of the role the UDP representatives in the current government administration had done. You showcased the amazing work and success stories that these representatives did whilst assuming office, and acknowledging and extending appreciation for support in cash and kind for the development activities that benefits Gambians. You also shared some areas of commitments that a UDP government aims to commit to and the expenditure to date for financial year 2019 and 2020. So we thank you very, very much for that overview. We've come to the last part of this particular session, which is the discussions on the reports that were highlighted. We would now like to open the floor to delegates, to members of the executives, for discussions on the financial report, the activity report, and the Congress reports. The floor is open for discussions.
Madingolu ajaratu Olidiba ay min banke jang walam nyinti ko Honorable Amadou Sane kabiring abota danterola marallo Kenya mi alon ko wala munafuloti nafulo mi alon ko da panso keta ñi sanji fulo min tambita teng a wala itandi koku dunta je drong a be bonni nyotole a bebe sanearen wala ay tandi ko UDP lem patrioti mi alon ko tilingo ni lanno bije Gambia no be wala batu kan ñim banko ka ñim pati wala batu pour kam man sakunda tamande ni lanno ni tilingo la o tilingo ni lanno na fulo tamanta nyama ñi sanji fulo ko na wala banke teng akom be tembo min to silang min binala wala mu sain be kachakela min be dendi ñim na fulo ke nyala min banke ta teng purum be kachakela wala na kachabe tarla wala to purum be se kacha nyofe ka jako ñil la fulo min dapansta teng a dapansta nin tilingo ni lanno le kono.
Thank you also for being able to be the communicator between our Fulani families. I think we appreciate that. This demonstrates the diversity that we have within the United Democratic Party, and we appreciate your being able to extend that message on to our families, the Fulani families as well. Thank you. So I now want to open the floor for discussions. Are there any observations, any comments, any questions or clarities that you would want to bring to the executive regarding the reports that were presented?
Ako silang ko fela da yelata momo e nyinin karo soto mimbe dending honorable Amadou Sane min banke teng ise bulo wulindi momo e la fankango soto je tumo min na Amadou Sane bankero ke nyin dafanso min keta teng imari ise bulo wulindi sayim be felem be kenoto momo se fenfo no dro ye bulo wulindi ifari fana se fen kapuno jele.
Just to clarify that the report is on the financial report, on the activity report, and the Congress report, not just on the finance report.
Akamin banke ja wala mu report saba wala banke ta jang min keta na nyin Congress wala report oti atamandirinya anin patio fana atamandirinya ni sanji fulo min keta teng anin dapanso fana dapansinya ana atamandirinya ni sanji fulo min tambita teng so nyin ku sabol bele be kacala momo e nyin karo soto momo e la finkango soto je imari shebulo wulindi yena ye nyin karo ke waran ni lafta fellala je isala je.
In the absence of comments, feedback, observations, or clarifications, can we propose to adopt the Congress report and the activity report? The Congress report that was presented by Honorable Alaji S. Dabo, the Acting Senior Administrative Secretary, and the activity report by His Excellency Usainu A.N. Dabo, Secretary General and Party Leader. Can we propose for the adoption of these two reports? The financial report will be concluded after the audited reports tomorrow. So what we plan to do is to have the part 3 and part 4 of these sessions commencing tomorrow morning. That's why we...
jërëjëf mbokk yi waa UDP ñu ne waxtaan bi neex na lool report bi party leader bi joxe fii report bi suñ Minister of Finance joxe ak report bi Acting Senior Administrative Secretary Alaji S Dabo joxe li ci gën a fees mooy ne biñ jógee Congress 2018 ak léegi not working? Waaw waaw suñ mbokki olof yi tamit pour ñu wax leen rek ne ñetti report lañ fi dégg léegi nii report bi njëkke bi Alaaji S Dabo moo ko joxe wone fan la parti bi jaar biñ jógee Congress 2018 ba tey wone na resolution siñ jëloon ak nuñ soppalee suñ constitution bi wone na parti bi activité yim def yépp mu ngi ko doon wax bi moo wax ci làkki angale Secretary General Party Leader moom ci boppam jox na report Congress wone na moom ci boppam office am tukki yim def ak activité si nga xam ne yeneen organe si parti bi def nañ ko youth wing bi laag fundraising ak diaspora bi laag ak jaar-jaar yi nga xam ne moom la def as secretary general ak party leader wone tamit UDP biñ nekkee ci government bi jaar-jaar yi fa ministre yi def moom ak ndem si yàlla si Alaaji Lamin Mudiba ak finance minister Alaaji Amadou Sané du ci dem affaire yi Commonwealth bi du ci affaire yi boolewaat Gambia ci réew yi nga xam ne àddina si ñu ngi ko waxantoo liggéey parti bi ak office am liggéey bi ñu def ci diggante bi yépp wax na ko ci olof wax na ko ci soose wax na ko ci anglais mujjanteel wax biñ def mooy suñ parti treasurer bi national treasurer bi moom def na sax ba def ñu buuñaatee laaka na Pël ñi fi dégg Pël xam naa ne kontaan nañ torop ci waxtaan bi waaye moom li mu wone rek mooy ne UDP bi ñoo nekk ci government bi liñ gisoon rek mooy Gambia UDP biñ ko sosee ba léegi Gambia la taxawal dëgg la at bi at bu jafe la at boo xam ne la am nañ coono am nañ métit ci àddina si yépp ndax coronavirus bi waaye loolu terewu doomi UDP ñu ngi taxawu parti bi di génnee di dugal ci affaire yi parti bi mu ngi leen a woon di dalal seen xel tamit ne bu rëy buñ ci def bu tuut buñ ci def dalasi buñ ci def ñu ngi koo def ci soxla parti bi ID card buñ jënda xaalis boobu yépp ñu ngi koo dajale di ko toppatoo at mi nag mënoon nañoo def external audit so figures yi yépp ñu ngi foofu noonu millions yi ak thousands yi ak téeméer yi yépp ñu ngi ko seet bàyyee ko professionnel koo xam ne atte na ne suñu xaalis niñ ko toppatooyee ñu ngi ko toppatoo ci yoon ak si sarta biñ ko tegal foog naa ci gàttal rek ak li ñu yàgg a toog loolu moo amoon ci waxtaan bi léegi li modérateur bi di laajte mooy su fekkee ne am nga laajte su fekkee ne am na loo bugg a tamit ñu leeral la ci ñetti report yi ñu ngi ubbi waxtaan bi pour ñu dugg ci waxtaan boobu noonu jërëjëf suma mbokki wolof yi.
jërëjëf Almami Fanding Tall faram-fàcce nga firi nga yëpp thank you fekkee ne amuñu benn comments o amul kenn ku bugg a laajte am laajte bu mu bugg a def o pour joxe kaddu dañu bugg a adopt report bi pour ñu mun a continuer guddi na te ñëpp soona nañ alhamdulillah ok baax na dégg nañ ne am nañu kontaan ci bu fekkee ne ñëpp d'accord nañ ci report yi dañ bugg a pour ngeen ekkati seen loxo yi baax na ci gàttal congrès yi 2020 bi ñëpp d'accord nañ ci activity report ak congress report financial report bi dinañ ko eggali ëllëg su subaa fu mu nekk nii ñëpp soona nañ ñaari activité yu des dinañ ko continuer pour suba ëllëg ci suba bu neexee yàlla 10 o'clock ñun yëpp ñu dajewaat fii ñu mun a continuer ñu teel a door pour ñu mun a continuer yeneen activité yu ñu waroon a def pour ëllëg ci suba balaa ñoo dem ñu deeku nangu ñaan ñun yëpp ñu ñaan tëj bés bi ba ëllëg ci suba incha allah ku nekk ñaan ci lum xam ak ci làkk bu mu bugga ak ci diine bu mu bugga jërë leen jëf ñu fanaana jaama ba ëllëg ci suba 10 o'clock ñun yëpp ñu taseewaat fii bu neexee yàlla ñu teel a door thank you very much and we conclude the day and convene here tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you.